episode of Rebootleggers. This is a comedy podcast with me, your host, Scott Owen, and my co-host,
Frank Sarah.
Francis.
I'm me, Frank Sarah.
Francis Waldorf
Wilhelm.
Sarah? Wilhelm Sarah.
Oh, I can't claim any relation to the Waldorfs. I'm sorry.
That's my mistake.
That's not gonna work.
Do you need to redo it? No, we'll just keep going. It's fine.
No, we'll just keep going. But I need you to remember your mistake.
I understand. We are joined by a very special guests, because grammar is not a thing here in the Rebootleggers writer studio. Marvel Comics writer and creator of Dr. McNinja, Christopher Waldorf Hastings. Is that right?
Thank you. Yes. A lot of people forget my middle name. I appreciate that.
And, that's middle names are important. And Chris has invited his wife, Carly, to join us, which we're very excited for. Hello, Carly. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you, Chris, for inviting me.
Yeah, I guess
my pleasure.
We should let Chris do it. So we're just here in the writers' room, getting ready to. Frank, we've got a lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
Chutzpah?
Yeah, no.
I was gonna say chutzpah.
I guess it's chutzpah
Boom.
now. I guess that's the word I'm
chutzpah.
looking for. We've got a lot of power in this room. I feel like this is.
We've
this
been
is
talking for a
exciting.
couple episodes about hiring writers, and we actually just went ahead and did it.
Wait, what?
We kind of blew out the budget.
Hold up. All right, we hired. Writers?
Well, I think we're getting the one for. I know I had to pay for Chris. Did you not?
Frank, we've been hinting at the Dickens cinematic universe for a good while in our show, and I think it's high time that we really got into it. And what better way to do that than with two people who actually write things,
Sounds pretty good.
And
Yeah, I mean, Frank clearly agrees. He paid us.
Yeah, I got paid too. I sent a Venmo invoice.
Dang.
Yeah.
We'll edit that out, Scott.
I guess I could just. Frank, do you just want to run the show?
I wasn't trying to step on. I wasn't.
No, that's fine. So Carly,
Scott, I'd be happy for you to pay us as well.
I sent an invoice to each.
That's
of
actually
you.
really nice of you. I felt weird asking if you wanted money from me, but I didn't know how to get to. Anyway, so Chris and Carly, what do you remember of Charles Dickens? How familiar are you with any of him or his works?
Love those Christmas ghosts.
Love Christmas ghosts.
Love a woman who won't take off her bridal gown.
Yep.
Right.
Love a reversal of fortune.
Love orphans.
Love orphans.
Can't get enough orphans.
Love debtor's
Love that he
prison.
died on June 9th, 1870 at age 58.
Oh, young boy.
Love that his resting place is Poets' Corner at Westminster Abbey.
It's a lovely corner where the poets are. Tuesday nights they turn into Slam Poets Corner, and I don't love that. But if you ever have a chance to go to the Abbey, check out old Chuck's resting place.
Check out Charles Dickey.
Charles Dickey. Do you think his friends called him Chuck Dickey? No way. This was Victorian England.
My friends would have.
No.
He's dick to me.
So we already have established kind of our. Who would we compare him to? So Ebenezer Scrooge is our first Dickens character that we've really fleshed out. Frank, who would we compare him to in the Marvel universe? Is he our Agent Coulson?
That's pretty accurate. Yeah, because he's got the hookup, he's got the info, he knows what's going on.
He's kind of Agent Coulson and Nick Fury had a baby.
I was thinking Nick Fury. Because he's prickly.
Yeah.
Curmudgeon.
Well, classic Scrooge is J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, sure.
Oh, he
man.
is. Yeah. And I mean, J. Jonah Jameson is just Nick Fury before he lost his eye, I think.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And that really fits because the role that Scrooge has taken in the other films that he has barely appeared in is usually the end credit scene where he recruits.
We really have slotted him in that way.
Yeah, and so that's pretty perfect. So
I'm just thinking of like Peter Parker like going into the Bugle and like asking for an advance on his pictures of Spider-Man and being told, "Are there no workhouses?
Yeah, I'm
Are there no prisons for you, Parker?"
Peter is Bob Cratchit.
Peter's absolutely
Oh.
Bob Cratchit.
Yeah.
And right now Stan Lee is listening to this and saying, "Oh, now you get it."
Stanley is in the room with us.
It's for Stanley to hear 1 second of our podcast.
God, for Stan Lee even to just know my name.
Scott,
man.
I have to tell you, I love podcasts. I love the medium. I have nothing to do all day but listen to internet radio.
Stan.
Direct from Stan Lee. You heard it
Yeah,
here.
I don't. Listeners, obviously you can't see this, but Stanley did just enter the Rebootleggers writers' room, which I guess we've never talked about the writers' room before, Frank. Everybody, we've just never thought to draw attention to it.
It's
but
big. It's orange. It's full of chairs, but no tables.
It's got a weird Hawaiian, but from the future theme to it, which I don't understand how we pulled that off.
Future Hawaii.
But so, yeah, Dickens does have a lot of orphans, and so we should probably maybe use some of them as our... I guess we're going for... I feel like this is almost League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
What's a better word for fodder?
Better word for what?
For fodder. These orphans are our chat.
Sentry?
What is... Yeah, that's good. Orphans are hot, is what I'm trying to say.
Orphans are so hot right now.
Oh, so
no one wants anything to do with a person with a parent.
That's true. And I guess the other thing that you guys should know about how the show works is all of these properties that we come up with air on our fictional network, the NBCW, which we like. The tagline is NBC content and CW abs. So basically, the one thing that we require that Frank really touched on was that everyone has to be super hot.
Prime toastiness.
Just
Got it.
super attractive. So orphans.
Oh, we didn't even discuss the fact that our Ebenezer Scrooge
he's gorgeous.
is 50 but 30 and ripped.
Yeah, he's...
Oh, nice.
And that is actually established canon.
A little something for baby.
So, who are some notable Dickens orphans? I had a list of them, and I lost them.
Little Dorrit.
Yeah, Little Dorrit's your big one.
Dorrit.
Spoiler,
Is David
spoiler
Copperfield?
alert.
Yeah.
So Amy Dorrit is an orphan.
You got Oliver,
Oliver.
Oh,
looking
the
up-
Oliver. The
there's
twist
the-
himself.
Mr. Twist.
Is it Esther Summerson or Summonson? She's from Bleak House.
Is she an orphan?
Are you just pulling these off your dome?
Oh,
No, I watch a lot of BBC.
Yeah, Carly really likes Bleak House and Little Dorrit. Like, there are some excellent BBC adaptations of them.
All right, we have our very own Dickens oracle in here.
Jeez.
So,
I've watched.
so that's why when she came in, I was like, you gotta get in on this Dickens stuff.
Get on this Dickens.
Oh, yep. The sweet words of a husband.
Yeah, it was a weird moment we just shared. So I don't know about Little Dorrit. Tell me what's...
Oh, Little Dorrit is excellent.
All right,
okay,
let him know about-
Here's my elevator pitch for Little Dorrit.
Let them know about that debtor's prison.
Little Dorrit, she's sweet as pie. She was a baby born to the debtor's prison.
In a debtor's prison.
And her father perceives himself as gentleman. He's the father of the Marshalsea. The Marshalsea is the name of the debtor's prison. Enter Arthur. What's his last name? I don't remember. Anyway, enter this guy. He comes in. He's also a sweetie pie, and he's like, "I'm gonna help you out. I want to help out your family." Looks into it, finds out that this family is about to inherit a tremendous wealth. Clears all their debts. So the dad is like, "Great, now I'm rich. I want nothing to do with you." And Amy's like, "But I love him." And then they go off to travel and enrich themselves in Italy. Along the way, Mr. Dorrit is haunted by his past
Ghosts?
in the debtor's prison.
Oh.
Yeah, and ghosts. Well, the ghosts of his mind.
Yes.
He
goes crazy, don't he?
He becomes he kind of goes insane, and he becomes sick and he dies.
Yeah.
And then little Dorrit comes back to England, and she's like, "Oh, wish I'd never met you." To I can't remember his name, Arthur.
Flintwitch?
Nope, Flintwinch is a servant of Clenham, Arthur Clenham.
Arthur Clenham.
Arthur Clenham.
Clenham.
So
That's pretty good.
yeah, and Arthur and all this while Amy Dorrit is in love with Arthur Clenham, who's very kind to her. Anyway, they
God,
wind up.
you can really tell that he was writing this by the seat of his pants for like a newspaper.
Yeah, it was a serialized.
Just like, and then Mr. Clemens arrives, and
then that Les Mis guy read it, and he was like, I could do this better.
Yeah, but the main thing is that little Dorrit starts out poor, becomes rich, is poor again, and then is rich again. And then she's in love with Arthur Clenham, and they fall in love.
Arthur is her age and bails her and her dad out of the debtor's prison?
He's an older than her, but not her dad's age, and he's just a swell dude that strolls in and helps them out.
As was the custom. I got it.
All right, so this opens a good door with ghosts. So we know that Scrooge can see ghosts, obviously.
Scrooge can see ghosts.
The ghosts say, please help me solve my murder, no problem. So Amy now obviously has a connection to ghosts, so...
The ghosts of her father's mind?
Yeah, well, maybe they're real ghosts now?
Yeah. There aren't really a ton of ghosts in Little Dorrit.
Well,
there are a lot of... there's a high body count, but not a lot of ghosts.
Well, why don't we say in this version of reality, any metaphorical ghosts are real ghosts?
Yes.
That is
great.
I think that'll work out pretty well.
Let's not make the distinction between real ghosts and imagined ghosts.
Yeah, they are all real.
Does imaginary ghosts still look like ghosts on a movie screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the sheets.
And the
eye holes. Frank, remind me, did our Christmas Carol take place in modern day London? Did we bring it forward, or was it still like old times, vampire times?
I believe it was still vampire times.
Okay.
All right, then you're gonna need a lot of steampunk.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, there's so much steam everywhere, just filling up all the tubes.
Yep. Well, okay, so it's also got to have a bit of time travel in it if Scrooge has been showing up in all of our other fields. Oh, right, David Copperfield is the guy who shows up.
We have established David Copperfield as a
he's a recurring character.
As a dimension shifter.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh. He can walk into other stories and participate in them.
Much like the modern day David Copperfield.
I was going to say, it would be a lot of fun if it wasn't the version from the story, but just the modern wizard David
That's what I've always imagined.
That's what it is now.
I don't know. Yeah.
We've never once said anything about him other than his name, so that's who that is now. He is...
Yeah, I would like it if he just he went back and showed up in a story, and that's just one of his tricks.
I think it's more fun if we call him a necromancer, because there's a ghost thing.
Ooh.
And so
or a chronomancer, because he does time.
Well, and ghosts.
Time ghosts.
Time ghosts.
Yeah, it's got to be time ghosts now.
I'm throwing money at time ghosts.
So, her name is Amy. Is it Dorrit or Dort?
It's Dorrit.
Okay.
Yes, Dorrit.
Okay.
That is better than
we
Dort.
can work with that.
But I would not put it past Charles Dickens to come up with...
So is this the League of Orphanary Gentlemen?
Holy
yes!
shit! Oh my gosh, that's very good, Francis.
I had to jump in there because I thought of it right then.
Are they extraordinary or just orphanary?
They're extraordinary?
Yeah. Do you think that they can handle that?
I think they're extraordinary gentlemen.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about Scrooge's parents either. He could be an orphan for all we know. This is a team entirely of orphans.
I feel like when you become old enough, you're just automatically an orphan when you don't have parents now.
Right.
Sure.
But maybe
works.
eventually we reveal that Scrooge thought he lost both of his parents when actually his father went to the future to learn magic.
Oh my god.
And then came back, and his father is David Copperfield.
And he chose that name because he made his fortune on what he called a field of copper where.
Which is a steampunk factory.
In this, copper just grows like trees. You can plant
Oh. You just go on out and like hop off just pull a hunk out of the ground, and then just like jam it onto your train and it goes.
Now, when you say hunk, you mean like a large quantity of the metal, or do you mean like a beefy boy?
Oh. Do we have room for metal beef boys with all the orphans?
We've only got 2 people in this, I think.
Yeah,
so
let
far.
me.
That's yeah.
Let me throw this at you. Artful Dodger is now a steampunk cyborg.
Ooh.
Oh man, that works.
Now, Christopher, you're a comics writer. You do this shit for real. How are we bringing these characters together? What's the best way to form a team? I guess. What are they? Why would?
Yeah, you need a threat.
Right.
You need a threat that will unite them.
Industrialization.
But don't they all love industrialization? Aren't they
don't
all
know.
creatures of it? Let's see. What else you got? You got aliens.
Mean old ladies.
Mean old ladies. Yeah.
That is
Mean
kind
old
of a
ladies.
theme.
There's a lot of mean old ladies in Dickens.
That's good. Then you could have what's her name from Great Expectations be like the main villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, have Havisham be the main villain.
You could have
She's creating a league of jilted brides.
Oh, and they wear all their wedding dresses are perpetually aflame.
Ah, yes.
Oh, who's the woman that Ebenezer Scrooge was engaged to?
Perfect. Yeah.
Spoiler.
I want to
That
say
one.
her name is Mary, just because that is the most Victorian British lady name I could think of.
Yeah, I could see him like visiting the past with his ghost and going, Mary.
Exactly.
Great read.
That was Mary. Oh,
Oh,
Mary. Yeah, Mary. That's good.
Her name's Mary now.
Yeah, definitely. Whatever it was.
So maybe let me throw this at you. We've addressed ghosts. Mm-hmm. What if the League of Jilted Brides are mostly ghosts?
Well, you've got a lot more people to pull from.
Well, in this version of history, Pip did not save Miss Havisham, and now she is a perpetually aflamed ghost.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Oh, yes.
And she's constantly talking about her. I don't know. What does she talk about? Money?
She talks about all of her great expectations.
She's like the Shadow King, right? She visits other women and like makes them carry out her plans.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Like a little puppet master, maybe?
What other jilted brides we got?
Puppet mistress?
We don't have it. So in Little Dorrit, Mrs. Clennam she wasn't jilted, but she was
She's not happy.
embittered by her husband, who was unfaithful.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd get down on some revenge action for sure.
Definitely.
Perfect. Okay, so let's see. Miss Havisham appears. Is she summoned by bitter emotions? Maybe.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
a Ghostbuster situation where
Yeah.
it's like an emotion like runs over London to a boiling point that it summons forth the terrible energies of burning brides.
Yes.
I don't
And
know
then-
why my thoughts
Yes.
immediately went to like a sort of like water for chocolate thing where someone makes something awful like gruel and then that summons them.
Oh, sure.
Either of those sounds great, but I do think because now you've said the Ghostbusters thing, Chris, we have to... The big finale of this movie has to be them riding inside Big Ben walking down the street.
Yeah.
Like a siege machine.
Maybe they combine Big Ben, the Tower of London, London Bridge into like a sort of industrial Voltron.
Yeah, you're talking like Megazord. Yeah, we're going there. Okay, yes.
I'm talking Voltron.
'Cause
It is
it's
very
steampunk.
distinctly
There's all
different from
kinds
Megazords, and it is very clear we make that distinction.
But you're talking about component pieces. Megazord, Zord. Yeah, fine. It's Voltron.
So the orphans.
Hello, Gov.
Please, sir. May I have some more?
Yeah,
to the Times, Gov?
Oi, did I ask you?
Oi, I'm a robot, and I... Bong, bong. Oh, cry me. Oh, bong, bong. I can't talk while I'm chiming. 12 o'clock isn't gone forever. Bong.
Like, during the fights, he has to stop. It is 1 o'clock. Bong.
Just announced to everybody. Is the clock face the robot's face or the robot's chest?
I'm thinking chest.
What is the face then? The face.
Well, it pops out, right? I mean...
The full, yeah, sure. So it's just a robot face.
It's you know what it is?
No, I like.
It's friggin' anonymous mask. That's what it is.
It's Guy Fawkes.
It's
a Guy Fawkes.
mask.
Oh
Yeah,
my
let's
god,
do that.
yes.
Let's do it.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, for shits and giggles, let's include Evie from V
Yeah.
for Vendetta
Wearing-
as our other orphan.
Remember
The fifth
that
of-
day in November.
It's the 5th.
I know, I was making a joke.
Oh, okay. Good joke.
It's a Guy Fawkes face with steampunk goggles on the forehead.
Oh, you gotta.
Gilding the lily.
It's a very punchable face.
Okay, so the extraordinary gentleman we have Amy Dorrit. Oh, that's it. We have and Scrooge.
We got
I guess.
Scrooge. We already said Scrooge
I
was there,
I
right?
thought you put in Oliver Twist. Like I
Yeah,
thought
do
he
we
was your key orphan.
We could also have Esther Summonson from, or any. I think there are like a million orphans in Bleak House, so you can use any of them.
Oh, right. And Artful Dodger is a steampunk cyborg.
Right.
Steamborg, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born of flesh and then I got robot parts.
I
What's
think
a robot?
it's like steampunk and metal, but with like a clock bit.
I think it
Robot.
goes without saying that Artful Dodger will be our Tony Stark.
Yes.
Oh, he just gets to wear. He gets to wear the pipes.
And I guess we should probably bring Pip in there if Miss Havisham's gonna be there.
Yeah, I think we gotta have the whole yin yang. Like if we're bringing
Ooh.
in
Wait, what about
Pip,
this?
if we're bringing in Mrs. Havisham, we got Pip.
How
You know,
about
we
this?
kind of keep it.
In this universe, at some point they will confront Miss Havisham. The first meeting of the team when they first confront her, where they inevitably lose because the team always has to lose
gotta
once
lose
before
first,
they
yeah.
can win, and she will say something to Ebenezer. Accusing him of letting her die, at which point we reveal that Ebenezer Scrooge is an adult Pip.
Ooh.
Oh.
And
Yes,
you know,
sir.
because of how like culturally relevant and into Dickens everyone is, the theaters will go nuts at that reveal.
Yeah, that's gonna be a crowd pleaser.
She'll call him Pip,
Oh
and in
my
that
g-
moment, like the
Yeah,
people
she'll be
in
like-
theaters will explode their heads.
Because do you remember Scrooge's voice from back when we overhauled this? I don't.
I think
I think you had a little bit of Brooklyn.
for some reason he was American. Yes.
Yeah.
And he was very gravelly. He was no. This is actually not his voice. This is Miss Havisham's voice. I've mistaken it.
Hey, doll.
He was very. I don't believe in no ghosts.
Yeah, and so Mrs. Havisham says like, "This is all your fault," and everyone's very confused, right? And she's like, "You left me to die," because all ghosts have to do that.
He's like,
And then that's when she goes, "Poop," and then like as she's like dissipating in the sunlight or something.
yeah. He's like, look, Miss Havisham, Bubala. I did not. That wasn't me. Does Miss Havisham have a first name? Is it just Miss?
It's just Miss.
Oh, here's a weird thing. Her husband's name was Arthur. Oh wait, nope, that's a half brother. Well, same thing back then, right?
It's the same Arthur.
Pretty much the same thing. That's what half.
Brother was another word for husband. I'm pretty sure back in those times.
Yeah, you have to say half brother and then wink. You couldn't just say it.
With your hand next to your face.
Yeah, you tap your nose.
Yeah. You're basically just telling the runner on third to steal home after you say it.
Is my half brother?
Eh? So we're in. Is this Victorian? That's the only. Is it Elizabethan?
Oh, we said
Doesn't
steampunk
matter.
vampire times.
That's right. I just keep using the word Victorian, and I'm afraid some history nerd is gonna be all well.
It's gonna point out the many inaccuracies.
Well, actually, in Victorian times, they did not know what steam was. So, okay, so Miss Havisham has come from the beyond, and what do we have? So there's a lot of jilted, embittered wives, right? That's what's causing the ghost uprising.
Sounds good.
As you do.
As you do. So I guess, Chris or Carly, walk me through, give me a recruitment montage. What do we see as Scrooge is pulling together this team? I need a word picture here. Tell me what this looks like.
I, for some reason, kind of want to see them try to pickpocket each other and then, like, laugh it off. And they're like, "Oh, we all know what this is, right? Yeah, come on."
See, I'm seeing like your orphanage like workhouse situation.
Uh-huh.
And it's like you've got the cruel master, and he's about to hit one of the boys for like dropping a cog, or something like that, and then
Can't drop the
a
cog.
fist on the wrist as he's about to strike, and turn around, and there's Scrooge, and he just and then Scrooge says a classic Scrooge catchphrase.
What does he say?
He says, "Boy, what day is it?" And he's like, "It's Christmas!" And he punches him in the face. "For all you boys!"
And then he says, "Get me the biggest goose you can find."
Yeah.
And then geese rain down from above.
Oh, I just meant he called his fist Christmas Goose.
Oh,
The
that makes
boys
more
are
sense.
very confused.
Instead of a star wipe, it's a goose wipe.
So I'm picturing the recruitment of the stepping into the orphanage. And
Well, a lot of these orphans are living out in the wild, I guess, which is why my
all right, you're gonna pick up like one from like a workhouse, right?
Sure.
And then like next step, like
Oliver
the next
tries
scene
to
is like
pickpocket him.
Yes.
3-card Monty on the street.
He's ballsy.
yeah.
So you got some scam right? It's like, "Oh, find a queen, it's easy, couple bucks, no problem. I quit. And then Scrooge grabs him by the wrist as he's about to grab the queen, and he says, "Boy, what day is it?"
So I was like, "You got moxie, kid. Join my squad."
Yeah, join my squad.
Then he's maybe crossing a bridge over the Thames, and he takes a fall, and kind Amy Dorrit crouches over to help him up, and he grabs her wrist, and he says, "Boy, what day is it?"
Yeah, and that's how he goes about recruiting.
That's wonderful. The only thing that I would like to add is the final scene is just a nice, idyllic, like cottage in the woods by a pond, and there's a boy fishing, and Scrooge walks up and he says, this line has to be in it, and he says, "Are you the Artful Dodger?" And of course, and the Dodger replies in his, Frank, give me what a steampunk robot would sound like.
Yeah, give me a sec. I think I can probably I think I can maybe use this.
Oh,
You guys getting a good vibe?
That's pretty good.
I am him.
Well, no, what he says.
I am he. Because think Tin Man, right? Like, it's steampunk, but it's not. It's not
That's
like
good.
great.
He can't really talk.
I am
But-
him.
That's very good. The only edit I will make to that is instead of openly admitting it, he says the much cooler line, "used to be." Because
Used to be.
I thought you were going for the Logan, "Go fuck yourself."
Well,
That would've
no,
been
that's
good.
what happened. All right, so for that one, they they go to an alleyway, right? So you got it's like I've got one last one to check out. And he walks into this alleyway and he sees a little boy crying over his dead parents, and there's all these pearls everywhere. And he goes, "Master Wayne, go fuck yourself." All right.
Just backs out.
And you can't recruit the most famous orphan crime fighter of them all.
he just says, "Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. You got your own thing. That's
Oh, it was an inopportune moment, is what that was.
that's
It's
my
awful
mistake."
rude of me.
I almost did a Alfred voice, which now I feel like Alfred should tell him to go fuck himself also. On behalf of Master Wayne.
Yeah.
He attends the funeral and tries to pick up, and then Alfred's like, whoa.
He just won't stop. He tries like 4 times
He's
to recruit
gotta
Bruce
hit up
Wayne.
a
When Alfred tells him, he attends the funeral and tries to like sidle up.
Oh man. Well, I think there needs to be a point in the story where he kind of loses, like everyone sort of loses faith in Scrooge, and so he tries to get more orphans by just stalking funerals.
He starts his own workhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to get into it, there are a lot of great orphans in action fiction. I mean, you've got James Bond was an orphan. You've got
known for his lack of parents.
You've got Superman.
With
You've
hologram
got
dad. That's steampunk.
You've got Spider-Man.
Sure.
All orphans.
You've got Littlefoot from The Land Before Time.
A noted crime fighter.
Dude, tree stars. How can we work that in?
I mean,
dude, I got it.
David
I got it.
Copperfield is a time traveling wizard.
Scott, no, you're coming ahead of me, but I already have the finished idea. Please,
Give it to me, Frank.
I'm all at Twitter now.
Yeah, I can feel it.
So there's the low point of the film, right? So all the orphans are engaged in 1v1 combat with perfectly matched enemies, but the clock is on the embittered, the side of the flaming brides, whatever we call them. Mrs. Havisham.
Not
winning.
Big Ben.
Scrooge.
Not Big Ben, no.
Yeah, no. Scrooge is like looking around, right? And it's the all is lost moment. And he just says to himself, he says, We're out of orphans. Do his voice. Say we're out of orphans.
We're out of orphans. Who's he talking to?
So then,
himself?
At that exact second, he's talking to himself, but
he
it's
probably
so...
calls him, he probably calls himself Ebby, so he's like, we're out of orphans, Ebby.
I don't know why he would name himself, but okay. He does that, right? And then like a second later, a rift in space opens, and we hear David Copperfield's voice for the first time in the film, and he says, I'm not so sure about that. And then pouring out of this portal is just every orphan we've named that's not part of Victorian times.
Oh my
That's
God.
Littlefoot the dinosaur comes
yeah.
out, and he's like 8 feet tall. Baby dinosaurs are huge. And it just all keeps pouring out.
That's true. Littlefoot would be big compared to regular orphans, wouldn't he?
And it's like the end of the
yes.
first Avengers movie, where you don't even know what's happening. There's just so many people on the screen.
And then Littlefoot says, that's my secret. I'm always angry.
We can certainly attempt that.
And then...
I don't think dinosaurs talk the same way. You could talk in the movie.
I actually, let me see. I was working on an illustration I never completed, which was like, funny enough, it was meant to be an illustration that looked like...
Are we talking LBT fanfic?
It was...
Whoa.
It was gonna look like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but it was called like the Orphan Haters Club or something like that. It's all the villains of orphans, and I just looked at the folder. I have all the reference for my
That's
villains.
so
I can type.
good.
I have so many orphans. So you've
This is all
got
working
Star
out.
Fox. You've got Will from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my gosh, yep.
Uh,
Luke Skywalker. Oh wait,
you've
no,
got-
his dad's still alive.
Peter Pan. You've got Little Orphan Annie. It's right there in the title.
Oh jeez, how do we miss that?
Oh, and you know she like wields knives secretly.
Oh yeah, she has like shurikens and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
You've got oh frig, what's his name? The Klingon fella from
Worf?
the Worf is an orphan.
Worf.
But he has very sweet adopted.
You've got that Aragon boy.
Oh, Aragon. You just see like
oh.
giant Michael Dorn just like punting children around.
Yeah, you've got the Hunchback of Notre Dame. You have Link from Legend of Zelda. You've got these are all pouring out that the wizard
They're just
has
this
summoned.
rift in time. David Copperfield, throughout our properties, David Copperfield has kept showing up at the end of movies and saying, "Well, I need you for one last job." And this is the last
I
job.
lost my headphone.
Now, Chris, I think there's an orphan that we're notably missing, and this all hinges on how self-indulgent you want to get, but does a young Latino boy riding a raptor come out of that rift?
Oh my Christ.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. I forgot it. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll license him.
It sounds like it sounds like we might be putting a pawn Christopher Scott.
You got right of refusal. You tell me if you want Gordito out of this, but
happy to license young Gordito. It's funny you say this. I'm like, it's like you're probably thinking about Harry Potter. We haven't talked about Harry Potter yet. Oh right, the kid I made up. That was pretty good.
Jesus, I knew where they were going.
I'm retired, lady.
I didn't even think about Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is pretty notably.
Well, but come on, we can't. We've already got one wizard in this movie. We can't have two.
Yeah,
except Harry Potter's a real wizard.
Chris is making piercing eye contact with me.
Carly, you know David Copperfield is just an illusionist. You know it.
I will die on this hill.
All right. We don't need to get into this again tonight.
Did you guys know that Oliver Twist has an alternate title called The Parish Boy's Progress? That's just a fun fact that I just learned.
I mean, we can all make up whatever names for books we want. You know.
We need a few more villains. I'm thinking, is that guy who Oliver asks for more gruel from? Does he have a name?
Yeah, he does. I just had this open. I just had it open when I was taking off all those other names. Bill Sykes. It's Bill
Sykes. No, Bill Sykes is... Well, so he is the main villain, but he's not the guy who runs the workers' house that Oliver lives in.
Right.
But that guy can be like Bill Sykes' lackey in this movie, and solely because when that portal opens and all of these orphans come out, we'll show a close-up on him as he turns to look at the rift, and he goes, "More!" And then that's it.
That's his SAG-AFTRA credit.
Then
he
he
gets a line.
gets some kind of shrapnel through his
And then
face.
he turns directly to the camera and winks.
I think there should be a lot of turning to the camera and winking.
There's so much winking in this movie.
It's a crowd pleaser.
This will pioneer the winking. We don't even have a name for it yet, but
we'll
it's
call
going
it
to
breaking the
become
fifth
a film
wall
technique.
because it breaks the fourth wall so much that it just becomes its own thing.
Yeah, breaking fifth wall
here's
plus
an
one.
interesting thing. So Charles Dickens died at age 58. It looks like he had about 13 kids.
Hey-o.
I'm gonna say maybe not all of them made it to adulthood before he died.
Fair.
So do they have an appearance?
This is exploitive.
Do you have Dora Annie Dickens and Edward Dickens? Henry Fielding Dickens? Sidney Smith Haldimand Dickens?
Dude, some of these kids got lots of names. Alfred Dorsey Tennyson Dickens. Holy crap. Cool it, Chuck.
Yo, Chuck, save the words for your books, not for your kids' middle names.
Hey, Chuck, save the names for some of the other kids. Jeez.
Hey, boy.
Oh, he is very good at names. My favorite one, Frank, what's the,
Martin Chuzzlewit.
There's that one, but that's not the one. Barnaby Rudge is another thing that he wrote, which is a great name. I don't know what that guy does.
So there's a Dickens property, and I know nothing about this, named The Signal Man. And if that's not the name of a villain...
Oh my gosh. Or is that... Ooh.
M. Night Shyamalan's The Signal Man.
I'm gonna give you only the first sentence of The Signal Man.
Hit me.
The short story The Signal Man is a man, obviously, who tells stories of a ghost that has been haunting them.
Oh, well, perfect.
Preceding a tragic event on the railway in which the Signal Man works.
Ruddy Ghost.
So this is a man haunted by ghosts. He is susceptible to ghostly control.
So
Old
where
Miss
does he
Havisham.
fall? Where does he fall on the axis of good and evil in this story?
Yeah, maybe he's the bad guy who turns good? That's
I mean, I feel like, or he could be like, I want to say like he could be like an oracle kind of person.
Oh,
like,
he lives in Big Ben.
Yep, he lives in Big
Because he's
Ben.
the Signal Man.
The Signal Man. That's great. And
And when Ebenezer Scrooge sends up the signal man knows to receive the
the
signal
orphan signal.
and begin to form the Benbot.
The Ben bot that does... What are the 5 parts of the Ben bot again?
So we've got Big Ben, chest and torso, right?
Yeah.
London Bridge.
We've got London Bridge,
London
which
Bridge.
are probably like the arms.
A leg?
Are
like
there
it-
can there be 2 London
bridge-
bridges?
Oh yeah, that's why London only has they only have the one bridge because it lost one of its arms in battle.
Oh, perfect.
Oh.
And
can it have a little
do not have legs.
Can it have a crutch like Tiny?
Yes, of course.
It uses London Tower as a crutch.
Yeah, great.
When it falls,
It has no legs.
I gotta say it. The London Bridge is falling down, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be
No.
sorry. This is gonna get this movie made.
You gotta.
The enemy defeats the Big Ben bot before David Copperfield shows up with the time rift, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's when Mrs. Havisham says, "It's falling," and then looks at the camera and winks.
And somebody says, "What's falling?" And then somebody shouts back the thing.
London Bridge.
I feel like part of the bot's got to be a train, right?
Yes.
Or it shoots trains.
Oh, it's got to shoot trains, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh.
The Parliament building, right?
Oh, you got the Parliament building. Or trains could be a whip. Could be a whip.
Oh, that's
weapon.
good.
Oh,
That's pretty dope.
Maybe
Yeah,
just
definitely get the Parliament building in there. They're all around each other anyway.
Yeah.
They're all within like 5 feet of each other.
And it wears a tiny crown. A real tiny crown.
Yeah, someone's actual crown.
An actual crown.
the Queen's actual crown.
Yeah.
A beacon activates and summons the crown.
Above the haunting, emotionless smile of Guy Fawkes.
Right. Well, Queen Victoria was the second? Let's see.
The big one? The big one? I thought she was the
No,
first.
yeah, it was just Queen Victoria. Sorry.
She's the first.
Yeah, Queen Victoria is piloting it. Is piloting the robot.
I thought the orphans were piloting the robot.
Well, they're running the gears. They're orphans.
They're cranking the
They're
cranks
shoveling
down in the
the
legs.
coal into the thing.
Even as the heroes of this movie, they are put to work to manual labor.
Yes, ma'am, it's what we're good at. Oh, my good lady, it is an honour to shovel coal in your crusades against the jilted women of the city. And I'm so glad to be the joint of the knee on this robot. I'm dead chuffed to play my role in the monarchy and in the imperialist empire of Britain.
Yeah.
God save the Queen. God save us, everyone.
Very obedient children, these orphans.
All right, I've got a pretty good direction we can possibly take this. So I opened up the Wikipedia page for Guy Fawkes.
Is it Guy?
He briefly fought for the Spanish in
A war.
in the 1500s, and while fighting with the Spanish, he adopted the name Guido Fawkes.
Hey! Enter any of the Jersey Shore people.
You just go ahead and incorporate the entire state of New Jersey into.
No!
All right, it's out. I did want to bring it up.
That's fair.
I mean, it was a legit name.
So, what is the Benbot fighting? Is it just, forming and then just standing in London producing steam? Like more pollution?
I assumed it was a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in a flaming wedding dress. Is that not where this is going?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I feel stupid for asking. That's absolutely what it is.
Mrs. Havisham absolutely manifests a body at the climax.
Yes.
Yeah,
of the
and you can make that body from some sort of like it can like a big marshmallowy shape can pour out of a combination of the new industrial age smokestacks, like that's their plot is they put this key ingredient into all these factories so at once they all churn out this same mass from their various smokestacks that form into a giant flaming bride.
That's very good. Maybe so Miss Havisham is a spectral lady. Does her adopted daughter do her earthly dirty work for her? I forget her name, but she basically just strings Pip
what was her
along
name?
for an entire
Emily
book.
or something? Oh,
Emily Emily sounds right. According to Wikipedia, it's Estella. That doesn't
Estella.
sound right. It is?
That's
right.
spicy for Dickens.
Yeah, that's
Must have been horny when he wrote that one. Coming up with some proper ribbled names. Estella. Oh, no nun named that, eh?
He's he writes it and he looks down at his dog. Hey, look what I did. This is pretty good, right?
Dogs can't talk. That's what the dog says to him. And
What are
then
you
he goes, woo, woo, woo. And he looks at his bottle of hooch. He says, oh, none of this.
And then he said, well, I'm 58 now. Time to die.
Yeah, and then that's the end of the intermission. This is a 4-hour-long movie, right?
It's a very long movie.
Maybe there's 17 versions of the movie, and you text while you're in the theater.
Oh, that's a lot of filming to do.
Oh, they did it for Clue.
They did do it for Clue.
They did do it for Clue.
And it worked out really well. It worked out.
There's
okay.
precedent.
So, not Dickens. Scrooge is the only one who can see ghosts, right, Frank? Is that correct?
And Amy can Amy Dorrit can perceive them, but not. I don't know about seeing them.
Because her father
I'm
had
into
mind
it.
ghosts. Her father had mind ghosts. So she's like
The mind ghost.
She's like.
She can read ghost minds, but not see them.
She says, "There's a present." That's not her voice.
That's not.
I detect the presence of the hereafter.
That's very good.
That is an unreasonably good Victorian orphan. Victorfian?
Victorphan.
There are a lot of good orphan puns I'm learning.
Yeah, and every single time anybody says the phrase "left behind," "abandoned," or "alone," any of those words ever come up, every person on screen looks at the camera and winks.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of winks in this movie.
The director's like, "Hey, more winks! Hey, what are you doing?"
It's a rap on Winks.
To rap on winks. A phrase that will never be said on this movie. It is never a rap for winks.
All right, this is we got day 5 of Wink pickups.
Everyone's just haggard. Their eyes are so
Oh,
tired.
their eyes are so red,
eyes are
so
just-
raw, so puffy.
They're just twitching the whole movie.
Their wink muscles are like asymmetrically toned. Like they've just got weird beefy eyelids.
They got one buff eye.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Okay, what are we missing? I feel like there's a lot of heat to this.
Nothing.
Is there anything we're missing?
Nothing. It's perfect.
It sounds perfect.
We have winks. We have portals.
We need a love. We need a love connection.
Oh,
That's
we
what's
gotta
missing.
have a love connection.
All right, fine. You got little Dorrit and I don't know, whoever's age appropriate for her.
How old is Amy at this point?
I feel like she's 20 years old or something.
All right. Okay.
Can't she be with
Abby?
Scrooge? Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. Or we could flip
We
it.
do Oliver.
Given in Victorian times how common it was for older men to take young girls as brides, maybe I don't like it
Her and
anymore.
Oliver twist.
I don't like She says, she says, we're taking it back or something. That doesn't feel right.
That's our word.
A truly feminist movie.
The plight of most. I think that's what the movement's about, right? Because women can't marry younger men is the problem in America. I think.
Maybe she takes maybe at the end of the movie, once the crisis has been averted, she takes young Oliver by the hand and she says,
Wait for me.
and then she just vanishes into the mist.
And then he just turns to the camera and he says, "Talk about the worst of times."
Does she hop into a time portal to emerge when he is older?
Yeah, or she just waits.
She just goes and sits down.
She just hangs out for I don't know how old Oliver Twist
The
is.
whole half your age plus 7 thing. She has to wait a couple of years, but then the math works out for Oliver.
She tells Oliver to wait. So where's she going?
Yeah.
She's just gonna go hang out somewhere.
I've got other things to do. I'm an adult
I've
woman.
got a bit of errands to run.
Carly, that doesn't make sense to me. What is a woman doing if she's not actively being engaged or married to a man?
That's.
This doesn't make sense to me. What do they do?
She's,
I'm getting a great look right now, fellas.
she says,
Audience, my wonderful, wonderful feminist spouse is giving me a real look.
Oliver says, "Wait, where are you going?" She goes, "I mean, I've got a job outside of the
Yeah.
extraorphanary gentleman."
Amy Dorrit had a job.
Sure, she had a job inhaling smoke from a coal mine or something, right?
No, she was a seamstress.
Oh, right.
So up yours.
But still plenty of coal smoke blowing around. I mean,
Yeah, no, she got high off of coal.
terrible, terrible smog in London.
Terrible air.
The air is very bad.
She made the dress Miss Havisham was burned in.
Ooh!
This dress is cursed.
Well, so here's what I think. So seamstresses still exist, but I think in our world,
Wait, they do? I thought we just had robots.
well, no, Amy, in our Victorian era, right? Amy Dorrit is like the best steam mechanic for 9,000 leagues. She just like bangs all the pipes together.
Surely stitches that copper.
Love it.
That's pretty good.
And she helped make Artful Dodger's suit.
Oh, right, he's in this
Oh.
movie.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is very good. I don't know that we need to add any more to this, unless
I think we literally can't.
literally.
Put this podcast on a golden cassette tape.
Shoot it into space.
Email it to Steven Spielberg, care of Hollywood. Wait for the check.
And the lawsuits.
We'll get all the rights. I mean, Chris, you got that inside track to get it adapted, I suppose. Nobody adopts it; it's an orphan.
Oh!
Bam! Adapted into comic book form. We've got that fast track. So I think we might have. I don't think there need to be any movies after this. Like, I think this is the last movie
I
that'll
think
ever
we're
happen.
done.
Yeah, I don't need more movies.
I think we're actually just gonna go ahead and call it for the whole show, Scott. We got it.
Well, no, I don't want to do that.
Well, I mean, we can start a new thing, but just we can't ever do this anymore.
Oh, well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, I guess thanks for coming up. This is, I guess, the last episode of Rebootleggers, but
Thank you for letting me end your show.
thank you for real.
So happy to have written the last movie.
Thank you both so much for coming on the show. This was a ton of fun, and
Absolutely amazing.
I hope you had as much fun as we did, and listeners, I hope you were winking right there along with us. So yeah, I guess we'll just say, everybody, thank you so much for listening. As always, please subscribe on iTunes and give us a rating. That's just how we get found. Carly, could you give me a Victorian orphan asking for an iTunes subscription?
If you please, sir. We really rely on the kindness of your enthusiastic reviews of our program on the medium known as iTunes, and I can't promise any sort of remuneration for your good deeds, other than knowing that when you die like my mummy and daddy, you will go to heaven with them.
Well, that was wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, well, so until next time, I've been Scott Owen,
And I'm Frank Sarah.
and our guests were Carly.
You guys can say your
should
names
say
if you
it.
want.
Carly Waldorf Monardo.
Christopher Carly Wardoff Hastings.
And we usually end with Frank providing a password for the listeners to tune in next episode. Would you guys like to give the password for next episode?
Yes, the password is burning dresses. Let me try. Yeah.
That was perfect. And